Welcome to this video on the Mesopotamians, one of the most fascinating ancient civilizations in human history. For thousands of years, the Mesopotamians thrived in the region between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, building a complex society with impressive achievements in art, literature, science, and technology. From the invention of writing to the development of irrigation systems and complex mathematical systems, the Mesopotamians left a lasting legacy that has shaped human civilization to this day. In this video, we'll take a closer look at who the Mesopotamians were, what they achieved, and why their story is so important to understanding the history of our world. So, let's get started. Mesopotamia is often referred to as the cradle of civilization, as it was one of the earliest known human civilizations that emerged around 4000 BCE in the region between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers in modern-day Iraq. The Mesopotamians were a complex society with a rich culture, technology, art, and literature that greatly influenced subsequent civilizations. In this essay, we will provide an overview of the Mesopotamian civilization, including their history, religion, society, economy, and contributions to the world. History of Mesopotamia. Mesopotamia is believed to be one of the earliest civilizations in human history, dating back to the Neolithic era around 10,000 BCE when people began to settle in the fertile land between the two rivers. The earliest known civilization of the region was the Sumerians, who inhabited southern Mesopotamia around 4000 BCE. They were followed by the Akkadians, Babylonians, Assyrians, and others, who all made significant contributions to the development of the Mesopotamian civilization. The Sumerians were the first to develop a system of writing, known as cuneiform, around 3500 BCE. They also built impressive cities, such as Uruk, Ur, and Nippur, and were known for their sophisticated irrigation systems that enabled them to cultivate crops on a large scale. The Akkadians, led by Sargon the Great, conquered the Sumerians around 2300 BCE and established a vast empire that extended from the Persian Gulf to the Mediterranean Sea. The Babylonians, led by Hammurabi, conquered the Akkadian Empire around 1750 BCE and established the famous Babylonian Empire, which was known for its law code and impressive architecture, including the Hanging Gardens of Babylon. The Assyrians emerged as a powerful empire in the late 9th century BCE and were known for their military prowess and brutal tactics of conquest. Religion and mythology. The Mesopotamians had a rich and complex religious system that was closely tied to their mythology and worldview. They believed in a pantheon of gods and goddesses, who controlled various aspects of nature and human affairs. The gods were often depicted as anthropomorphic beings with human-like emotions, desires, and flaws. The most important gods were Anu, the god of the sky, Enlil, the god of wind and storms, and Ea, the god of water and wisdom. The Mesopotamians also had a complex mythology, which was closely tied to their religious beliefs. One of the most famous Mesopotamian myths is the Epic of Gilgamesh, which tells the story of a heroic king who goes on a quest for immortality. The myth is believed to be one of the earliest known works of literature in human history and has had a significant impact on subsequent storytelling traditions. Society and politics. The Mesopotamian society was highly stratified, with a clear distinction between the ruling elite and the common people. The ruling elite consisted of kings, priests, and bureaucrats, who controlled the political and economic affairs of the empire. The common people were farmers, artisans, and laborers, who lived in small villages and worked to support the empire. The Mesopotamians developed a complex system of laws and governance, which was closely tied to their religion and mythology. The king was seen as a representative of the gods on earth, and his authority was derived from divine mandate. The laws were enforced by a system of judges and magistrates, who were appointed by the king and were responsible for maintaining social order and resolving disputes. Economy and trade. The Mesopotamian economy was largely based on agriculture, with the fertile land between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers providing ideal conditions for farming. The Mesopotamians were known for their sophisticated irrigation systems, which allowed them to cultivate crops on a large scale. They grew a variety of crops, including barley, wheat, dates, and vegetables. They also raised livestock, such as sheep and goats. The Mesopotamians were also skilled traders and merchants, who established extensive trade networks with other civilizations in the region. They traded in a variety of goods, including textiles, metals, pottery, and spices. They also developed a system of weights and measures, which facilitated trade and commerce. Contributions to the world. The Mesopotamians made significant contributions to the world in various fields, including art, literature, science, and technology. They were the first civilization to develop a system of writing, which allowed them to record their history, laws, and religious beliefs. The cuneiform script, which they developed, was one of the earliest known writing systems in human history. The Mesopotamians also made significant contributions to mathematics, astronomy, and medicine. They developed a sophisticated system of mathematics, which included the use of a sexagesimal number system, which was based on the number 60. They were also skilled astronomers, who were able to predict the movements of the stars and planets with great accuracy. In medicine, they developed advanced surgical techniques, such as trepanation, which involved drilling a hole in the skull to relieve pressure on the brain. In art and architecture, the Mesopotamians were known for their impressive ziggurats, which were massive stepped structures that served as temples and administrative centers. They were also skilled in pottery, metalworking, and jewelry making.